So most of this episode takes place inside of a library, and there's the inclusion of a manga section in there, and that alone makes this the best show I'm watching right now. So this episode's basically just about the relationship between Luz and Amity and where that's going, and Amity's relationship with her siblings that we meet in this episode. Characters named, I have it here, Emira and Edric. I wrote it down, and there's no way I'm going to remember that, like at all. It just doesn't seem to click. I won't remember that. I'll just call them mean siblings 1 and 2, boy and girl, older twins maybe? They look similar. They look around the same age group. We'll see, I guess. But yes, the episode follows Luz and Amity mostly. There's some stuff with Ida and King babysitting some kids that don't really play any relevance to the actual plot of the story. Maybe in future episodes, and we'll get to that in a bit if I can remember to get to that. But really, it's just Luz going to the library because Ida asked her to return some books. And then she goes there and she realizes, she realizes, I'm a lover of books. I should be hanging out at the library. So she does. She explores the library a bit. The manga section is mentioned, like I said before. It's not even mentioned. It's just in the background. This episode's full of small little things in the background that I really enjoy because the show's really good at having like background jokes all over. But while Luz is exploring the library, she comes across Amity, who's reading to children, and I love that. That was really cool. It really makes her character more sympathetic because up until this point, from Amity's perspective, yeah, I'm kind of on Amity's side. Luz is kind of nothing but trouble. Every time Luz is in her life, stuff goes wrong. So when Luz walks up to her after she's done reading to the children and she's like, hey, Amity, we should hang out. Amity is just like, human? She calls her human. Human? Back away from me. Please. I don't want anything to do with you. And honestly, I'm on Amity's side because even in this episode, Luz is nothing but trouble. Amity's siblings show up and they start hanging out with Luz. Turns out they're just pranksters and they just like messing with Amity more than anything else. And I kind of get that relationship, like where the older siblings just give the younger one nothing but a hard time. And they're like, Amity's too stuck up. She takes things too seriously. She doesn't let us get away with skipping class. How dare she? All right, whatever, guys. But Luz eats it up. Luz hangs out with them all day. And then at the end of the day, they're like, hey, come back at midnight and we're going to pull something epic. We're going to do something cool. Sure enough, Luz does it. She comes back at midnight. Amity overhears this. So she's like, all right, I'm going to show up at midnight too. See what they're going on to. And the grand plan of their siblings, the grand epicness they were promising is just to steal Amity's diary and just post it all over town or all over the school, which thankfully Luz recognizes isn't cool. But yeah, that's their grand plan. Like, I don't know. I would not be on board with hanging out with these people. And eventually Luz was like, yeah, you guys are kind of not good people. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And they just take off. But before they take off, the sister calls Luz cute and she blushes. And I thought that was a nice moment. And honestly, though, Luz can do so much better. I do not ship Amity's sister and Luz at all. More so Amity and Luz, but that's besides the point. But what's actually on point is that Amity is also a fan of the Azura books, the books that Luz has been reading this whole time. Brings up a lot of questions. Primarily, they get those on the Boiling Isles? Really? And it's a series? I guess I always kind of knew it was a series, but I did not expect that to have 5 volumes. I don't know why I didn't expect that. I really should have. But it's a 5-volume series so far as we know. And yeah, they have him on the Boiling Isles. Amity is also a fan because they're made for each other. And that's it. That's pretty much what they bond over. They realize that, during this special event, during the Wailing Comet Star ceremony that happened to be that night, the books come to life. If you open the books, the things inside of them come out. They have fun with that for a bit. But if you draw in the book, whatever you draw also comes to life. And Luz should know that no self-respecting reader would write, or let me rephrase that, no self-respecting reader would draw in their own book, let alone a library book. The library has given us so much. Why would she do that? She doesn't, honestly. But I don't know. It was just a cool moment. I like that idea a lot of like the books coming to life. I had really hoped it was her moment to actually talk to Azura, to actually get Azura to show up and like have a conversation with her. It's like her hero, and they missed that opportunity. Doesn't mean it won't happen again. Maybe there'll be another Wailing Star night or whatever. But we'll see. I just thought that was a bit of a missed opportunity, but well, it's alright. Luz cosplays. Luz actually has 2 costume changes in this episode, both of which cool. One of which is the coolest her character has ever looked. It's kind of like a Cloud from Final Fantasy spoof, but either way, I love it. It was probably in the manga section, honestly. But all's well that ends well, because Luz and Amity do bond a little bit by the end of the episode, and Amity is like, well, you're still nothing but trouble, which she is. But I might have been meaner than I should have been. And then Amity walks away and she's like, thanks for letting me borrow the book, because Luz lets her borrow book 5 of the Azura series. And yeah, it was just a good episode. I like their friendship, where it's going. I like the progression of it. I do think they're made for each other in a weird way, because Luz is kind of the opposite of what Amity is. But opposites attract, and I'm here for it, guys. And just circling back to what Ida and King were up to the whole episode, they were just babysitting these kids for like the Bat Queen, which is supposed to be this demon. Kind of freaky looking in my opinion, but that's really all they do. What is important though is that the Bat Queen drops like a treasure chest, and it comes with like this skull whistle. I'm assuming that whistle's going to become important later because of the fact that it's included here and that they take the time to point it out and reference it. Like, hey, you got a whistle. I don't know where that's going to go, but I'm excited to find out. I really trust the writers of this show. I feel like there's only so many ways I can praise it. But yeah, this episode was just full of a lot of great ideas. I love library stories because I love the library, if you didn't know. I don't know why you would. And yeah, it was just a good, fun progression of Luz and Amity's relationship. I'm sure their siblings are going to come back, and I'm excited to see it, guys. And also an end cap note, I do legitimately love that Amity calls Luz human. I hope that's like a nickname that sticks every time Luz comes up. Human? Please. It's just funny to me. Anyways, guys, have a good day. Thanks for watching if you did. Be sure to watch more videos if you want, or don't. I'm not your boss or your dad. I've been saying that a lot lately, I feel, but that's because I've been recording these a lot. It doesn't matter. Have a good day. Be safe, guys. Don't deface books. It's public property, especially in a library.